Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is Wyln News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. Wyln News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on Wyln News. Here's a recap of our top stories from the week.
A new family medicine practice has opened in Hazel Township. The Express Care and LVPG Family Medicine Airport Beltway opened their doors on Monday, September 9th, with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. The new location offers both Express Care services for the Hazelton community, as well as appointment-based follow-ups and screenings for families. Several local and state officials attended the ribbon cutting, including members of the Hazelton Chamber of Commerce and several LVHM board members. The Express Care is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. all year round. A man from Monomoy City has pled guilty to attempted homicide in connection with a Hazel Township shooting in 2023. According to court officials, Ismael Alejandro Valdez-Batista pled guilty after he allegedly drove two other suspects to the scene where 18-year-old Ronaldo Cepeda was shot and killed. The incident took place in April of 2023 in the area of West 23rd Street in Hazel Township. State police say the victim was found with multiple gunshot wounds and was transported to the hospital where he died from his injuries. According to police, a witness at the scene told officers that two men with ski masks had been seen walking behind the Firestone Complete Auto Care at the time of the incident. Valdez-Batista was later connected to the crime when his license plate number was seen on surveillance video. In an interview, investigators say Valdez-Batista said he was contracted to drive a friend and another man who were targeting Cepeda to the China Buffet. Valdez-Batista was 17 at the time of the shooting and was charged as an adult. The trial for a former Hazelton police officer accused of detonating an explosive is now underway. According to investigators, Liddell Hannon has been charged with setting off an explosive device in an attempt to kill a man who was in a relationship with his estranged wife. The incident took place outside a building in Klein Township in December of 2021. Hannon's trial began on Monday, September 9th. If convicted, Hannon faces more than 40 years in prison in connection with the incident.
Local first responders and Luzerne County officials gathered outside the Luzerne County Courthouse Wednesday morning to remember the events of September 11, 2001. This year marks the 23rd anniversary of the devastating terrorist attacks on New York City, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania that killed nearly 3,000 Americans. During the event, the public was invited to pause and remember all of the lives that were lost. Speakers at the event included Luzerne County Manager Romilda Crocamo, Luzerne County District Attorney Sam Sanguadolce, Wilkes-Barre Mayor George Brown, and Chairman of the Luzerne County Council, John Lombardo. Members of the 109th Field Artillery were also in attendance. An 18-year-old has been charged with involuntary manslaughter in connection with a fatal shooting in Nanticoke on September 1st. According to officials, the shooting took place on Minden Court in Nanticoke after Michael Cron Jr. and the victim, 17-year-old Hunter Sipple, retrieved two handguns from Cron's upstairs bedroom. According to a press release, Cron and Sipple carried the guns downstairs and began playing with the firearms. When Cron was playing with the gun, officials say a round was discharged and struck the victim in the chest. Investigators say Cron immediately attempted to render first aid and Luzerne County 911 was called. Sipple was transported to Geisinger, Wyoming Valley Trauma Center, where he was later pronounced dead from his injuries. Cron has been charged with involuntary manslaughter in connection with the incident. The investigation into the incident remains ongoing. Anyone with information regarding the case is asked to call 570-736-2094. Additional details have been released regarding a shooting in Wilkes-Barre on Monday. The fatal shooting took place on Northampton Street in downtown Wilkes-Barre. According to police, 35-year-old Lonnie Davis was seen arguing with a woman when 28-year-old Brandon Del Castillo allegedly fired multiple shots at Davis. The woman, who has been identified as Del Castillo's mother, then fled the scene with Del Castillo in a black vehicle. Upon further investigation, officials say the incident was the result of a long-standing feud between Davis and Del Castillo. According to officials, Davis had previously been in a relationship with Del Castillo's mother. Del Castillo is currently behind bars at the Luzerne County Correctional Facility and has been charged with homicide in connection with the incident. Investigators say Del Castillo is also known to have gang connections and was involved in a gang-related shooting several years ago. Del Castillo's mother has not been charged in connection with the shooting. The investigation into the incident remains ongoing. Coming up on WYLN News, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Plymouth Part 4. Plus, we check in with State Representative Dane Watrow on Watrow's weekly update. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
WYLN News brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network Express Care. Now open on the Airport Beltway in Hazel Township. Walk-in care 365 days a year for common illness and minor injuries.
My name is Andy and tomorrow is going to be sunny.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Hey, it's Justin from Grand Central, and our trained sleep professionals are here to help you sleep like never before. With an extensive line of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we are sure to find you the right mattress at the right price. Free delivery and removal, interest-free financing for up to 60 months, and same or next day delivery on select models.
And don't forget, everyday low prices. Stop in to one of our 2 locations, Route 93 in Nescopec,
Or downtown Hazleton.
and see why Northeast and Central Pennsylvania sleeps better with Grand Central.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, Linda Gordon, we saved her from back surgery, but then she said she had TMJ, which is pain in the jaw, can't open her mouth wide enough. Stay tuned this week to see how adjustments, laser, and then she puts heat on it, how we can help your TMJ.
By 1917, America had been drawn into the maelstrom that was World War I. Under the Selective Service Act passed upon the country's declaration of war, District 6, in which Plymouth resided, was required to send 154 men to serve in the armed forces. Ultimately, many more than that did. After the war ended,
They are celebrating a massive welcome home parade in town on June 30th, 1919 that stretched the whole length of Plymouth. Civic leaders around this time decided to honor those who had served with a monument and hired sculptor George Brewster to build it, under the condition that he not duplicate the design anywhere else in Pennsylvania. Brewster designed a monument of a soldier and a sailor on a pedestal, and what fittingly became known as the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, dedicated on November 11th, 1920, a year later than scheduled due to funding shortages. Its dedication was also followed by a parade, believed to be the largest one ever held in Plymouth. The monument still stands today, honoring those who answer their country's call of duty. As the Great Depression swept across the nation in the early 1930s, building projects were granted to towns across the nation to get those who had been furloughed back to work. In Plymouth's case, a grant was given in November 1933 to build a post office. The structure, based on Georgian architecture, opened for use on November 23, 1935. 3 years later, it would be the beneficiary of a program by the Treasury Department to enliven federal buildings with murals. The mural in question, Mealtime the Early Coal Miners, was completed by Jared French in 1938 and still hangs in the post office today. It was around this time that Plymouth had the honor of seeing one of its own reach the governor's mansion. Arthur Horace James was born in Plymouth in 1883, the son of a mine foreman. As a child, he worked as a slate picker and mule driver and continued performing the latter occupation while on break from Dickinson College Law School when older. James was admitted to the Luzerne County Bar in 1904 and served as county district attorney from 1920 to 1926. After this tenure, James moved up to the statewide office, defeating Clayton Hackett to have the honor of serving as lieutenant governor under John S. Fisher. After his term as lieutenant governor ended in 1931, James was appointed to the state's Superior Court and served in this capacity through 1939. His big opportunity would come thereafter when then-Governor George Earle relinquished his seat to run for the U.S. Senate. After gaining the Republican nomination for the position over former Governor Gifford Pinchot, James would defeat Charles Jones of Perry County by over 270,000 votes, receiving the most votes of any gubernatorial candidate in the state's history to that point, to become Pennsylvania's 31st governor. In his single term in office, James created the state's Department of Commerce, oversaw the opening of the Pennsylvania Turnpike in 1940, reinforced liquor control laws, and was able to turn a notable budget deficit into a strong surplus. At the 1940 Republican National Convention, James was nominated for president and survived 6 ballots before endorsing eventual nominee Wendell Willkie. After James's term ended in 1940, his successor, Edward Martin, reappointed the state Superior Court to fill a vacancy, but he was subsequently defeated in the next election for the position. He would then return to Plymouth and resume his law practice. Arthur James died in 1973 and is today buried in Hanover Green Cemetery. Plymouth itself during these years would not be immune to the slow decline of the coal mining industry during this time. Long the lifeblood of the community, it began dying out, replaced by other fuels. The town's population, like so many of its neighbors, declined. But there were still signs of life, particularly in education. In 1966, Plymouth's school system was merged with those of neighboring Edwardsville and Larksville to form the Plymouth Area School District, one of 3 pieces of the larger Wyoming Valley West School District. 1 year later, all 3 districts were themselves merged into a single Wyoming Valley West High School, and initially the previous Plymouth High School was used for freshmen and sophomores in the district, while Kingston's former high school housed the upperclassmen. Today, Plymouth is the heart and soul of the Wyoming Valley West School District, sending its students out into the world with Spartan pride. And for Plymouth's football fans, a native son would soon be seen prowling the NFL sidelines in the 1970s. John Mazer graduated from Plymouth High School in 1948 as an ace quarterback. He would channel that into 3 successive seasons at Notre Dame. Following a stint with the Marines, Mazer played 1 year for the Canadian Football League's BC Lions before suffering a career-ending injury. He then switched to coaching, beginning with Tulane in 1955. He entered the professional ranks in 1962 as the Bills' wide receivers coach. By 1970, he was serving as offensive backfield coach for the then Boston Patriots when Coach Clive Rush resigned on November 3rd of that year. Mazer was elevated to interim coach to finish out the season and would be named the permanent new coach by owner Billy Sullivan afterwards. For 1971, Mazer coached the by then New England Patriots to a 6-8 record, their best showing in 5 years, and drafted All-Pro quarterback Jim Plunkett for the franchise. Sullivan subsequently rewarded his coach with a major pay raise. The bottom quickly dropped out for New England to begin the 1972 season, however, with the team managing only a 2-9 record going into a November 12th matchup with the then undefeated Miami Dolphins. The eventual world champions shut out New England 52-0 in that game, and Mazur would resign the day afterwards. He would land on his feet, however, as new Philadelphia Eagles coach Mike McCormick hired him as defensive backs coach the following year. Mazur would survive McCormick's firing in 1975 and would be named defensive coordinator by Dick Vermeil following his hiring. Mazur would move on after just one season that produced a 4-10-1 record, giving him the dubious distinction of having the worst record of any Eagles defensive coordinator. He would get a second chance in the role, though, with the New York Jets, then coached by Sawyersville's Walt Michaels. While his first season as Jets defensive coordinator would produce a respectable 8-8 record, the team regressed to 4-12 in 1980. By then, Mazur was battling the early effects of Parkinson's disease and chose to retire. He passed away in 2013.
Welcome back to Feel Good Friday. I'm joined by Dr. John. Dr. John, how's it going?
Hey, Ryan. I'm still appreciative of you coming here, big guy.
Like I said, I love coming here. It's awesome. I love doing these segments. And today we're going to talk about the importance of shoes.
Critically important. You know, I come from a family of 12. I was a paper boy when I was 7 years old. I know the value of saving $1. But I had a woman once. She had left hip pain. Her left leg was always short. No matter what I did, it would never hold the adjustment. She came in one day, Ryan. Her pain was gone. Her leg stayed in place. She said, I threw away my 6-year-old shoes. So right now, I know we all want to save money, but any pair of shoes you have that is longer than 1 year old, throw it away. Research shows that the shoe inside gets weak. People come to me now with plantar fasciitis, which is pain in their heel. They don't make shoes as good as they did 30 years ago. So get new shoes once a year. Maybe change up your shoes. Like I have a certain hiking shoe. I have one that's a walking shoe. I have a sneaker that I wear at work. So change up the shoes. Proper socks. Don't go barefoot. Barefooted people get bad feet over the years. So proper shoes are important. You know, depending what kind. I tell people go to whatever feels comfortable for you. That's what you should buy.
Okay? 200%. I'd like to thank Dr. John for joining us on this edition of Feel Good Friday. We'll see you next time.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. I end up going to a dentist and he wants to charge over $600 for a night guard. That's when I found this, the Brooks Night Guard. This was a game changer. It's smaller than other night guards that I tried, which is a good thing because it doesn't make me gag. It could fit on the top or the bottom of the teeth. It's lightweight and super comfortable. Now the Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to brooksnightguard.com and order yours today. Your teeth will thank you for it in the morning.
Go to brooksnightguard.com and use the promo code to activate your special TV offer. That's brooksnightguard.com. Order today and take advantage of this special TV offer. Your teeth will thank you for it in the morning.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Welcome back to Watcher's Weekly Update. I'm joined here as always with State Representative Dane Watcher. Dane, how's it going today?
Good, very good. Thank you very much, and thank you and Wyln for having me again for another week. I really appreciate this, getting information out there to people.
Absolutely, always appreciate having you on here. So I know recently you just had your senior scam seminar.
Yeah.
Well, I know you also like to say that it's not just a senior scam seminar, but just a scam seminar for anyone to find out useful information about how to avoid scams and take precautions through many different sources. So tell us about how that went.
It's so funny you said that, because that was my opening line this week when we had it. We had it down in Shenandoah Senior Center. And when I walked in there, I have to say, if anybody's listening that is from the Shenandoah, Mono City area, to go check out the Senior Center. It is one of the coolest senior citizen centers I have ever been at. Hazleton has a beautiful one too. But down there I walked in, they're all festive with their tree, Halloween tree lit, and pumpkins everywhere. It's pretty cool. They get together, they have a couple dozen people, they say, every week. However, we had the Attorney General's office up today to speak with the seniors, and my opening line was, this isn't just for seniors, it's really for everybody, because about 2 years ago, it happened to this guy right here, and it's out there, it's real, it's happening, and the turnout was great today in Shenandoah. So I'm very happy and pleased to see people are paying attention, and to the simple thing of going to use your debit or credit card. If it has that little chip on it, use that will save you. Also had a resident share with us today that they were scammed. An attorney from Philadelphia called them, and I shouldn't say an attorney, it was somebody intimidating like an attorney to get their information, and lo and behold, that person was scammed out of a credit card for hundreds of dollars, which it could have led into much more. So it's something to be very vigilant about. Don't ever give out your social security number, important information. And if you have any doubt, definitely do your research. Give my office a call. I always say to anybody, if you think that something doesn't feel right, it's probably not. Give me a call, give our office a call. Let me help you. It might not be a state-related issue, but it's something that and my staff are more than willing to help you out and look into. I always say that if it's not a state-related issue, it's okay. We're going to get you in the right direction to figure it out and make sure you're not being scammed or anything. It just doesn't have to be a scam. Anything out there that is unstate-related, it's okay. We'll get you in the right direction.
Absolutely. And it's like you said, anyone can be affected by scams, like regardless of who you are. Even as you said, like many public officials, like having so many issues with scams. So there are really great ways to take precaution for that. It's great that you have provided that information to the public about how they can be aware of that and be, as you said, more vigilant with it.
Thank you. Yeah, we try every few months to have the Attorney General's office come up and just have a discussion with our seniors, because they're the ones who are primarily targeted. However, but it could happen to anybody, teenagers, middle-aged people, me. It could happen to anybody. Yeah.
It's great to definitely be aware of that. I know specifically focusing on seniors now that you do have an upcoming senior expo happening here in Hazel Township at the Laurel Mall. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That's next week, the 19th, from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the Laurel Mall in Hazleton. I got to say, this is the biggest expo to date that I know I ever had. This is my second annual one doing it, but previously I know certain people had expos, but this is the biggest one. We have over 70 vendors coming to assist seniors with different type of programming that it's out there. We're also going to be doing testing, glucose testing, and a series of other testing. I shouldn't say we, the medical professionals are going to do the testing. Earlier, I know don't want to get on my high horse with this, but people are struggling out there and they can't afford to get the testing done or whatever. So we're bringing it to them here in Laurel Mall in Hazleton on the 19th of September from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Glucose testing, as I said earlier, and multiple other testing. Stop by if you have the time. Check it out. 70 plus vendors. Let us try to help you or alleviate some of that pressure out there. so many people are in a tough position right now that they can't afford that testing or really don't know the resources to go ahead and get tested. So I encourage everybody to come and see what vendors are there, see if anybody can help you. We're going to have also a host of state-related offices there as well.
Nice. And is the testing a first-time thing for the expo? Like, is that like a new addition that you've added?
So last year we had a hard time. Ever since like the COVID happened, it's hard to get people out and moving again and everything else. So, but this is the first time like we're having the major vendors out there are going to have resources for testing, and not just glucose, but other things, blood pressure. It's going to be a great event. The mall's going to be packed. Last year it was packed. And it's not to the thanks of Dane Watrow. It is to the thanks of the staff that I have to put this together. They're working countless hours to making sure we're delivering for our senior citizens. That's a priority of mine. And this is one of the greatest seminars we have, events we have, is the Senior Expo coming up September 19th from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock at the Laura Mall.
Absolutely. Definitely check out that event for those who are interested for it. And as always, we want to thank you, Dane Watrow, for does everything you do for the community, but also for joining us here on Watcher's Weekly Update, and we'll see you next time.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cher's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cher's is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business. Attention WYLN viewers, WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network. SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. It's high school football time on WYLN TV 35. You can always count on WYLN TV for all the action, not just the highlights. Check out the Game of the Week and join Marty Burns, Joe DeMelfi, and the entire WYLN sports team as they bring live high school football to you. Watch over the air in Hazleton at 35.1, Berwick at 47.1, or Williamsport at 9.1, or Service Electric Cable, Channel 7 or 507, or online anytime at WYLNTV.com.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.